This is lesson 4, subtracting integers. All right, our rule for subtracting integers is add the opposite. And the way that we do that, okay, is to leave, change, change. Okay, so we're going to be doing leave, change, change. Okay, so it says subtract by adding its opposite. So in other words, we're going to be adding the opposite number. So a way of helping you to do this is if you use arrows. I'm going to leave my first number, 8. I'm going to change my subtraction to addition. And I'm going to change my second number to its opposite. So the opposite of 12 is negative 12. Because now that we are adding integers, we can go past the 0 into the negative section of our number line. So if I'm at 8 and I subtract 12, or an example is if I have $8 in my pocket and I spend 12, I'm at negative 4. I owe somebody $4. Okay. So, and the way of showing that is 8 plus negative 12. So if I do leave, change, change, I'm back to my adding integer rules. My signs are opposite. So I'm going to subtract the two numbers. So 12 take away 8 is 4. Keeping the sign of my larger number, 12 is larger, its sign is negative, so is my answer. Next, I do leave my 4, change my subtraction to addition, change my negative 2 to its opposite, which is a positive 2. Here, my signs are the same, so I'm adding my numbers. 4 plus 2 is 6. Keeping the sign of my larger, 4 is larger, its sign is positive, so is my answer. Here I have negative 7. I'm going to leave that. Change my subtraction to addition. Change my negative 9 to its opposite, which is positive. So the difference between 9 and 7 is 2. The larger number is 9. Its sign is positive, so is my answer. So now let's do these examples. We are going to use the rule of subtraction and rewrite the following sentences as addition sentences. So here we have 8. Change this to a positive or a plus. Change our 2 to a negative 2. Leave, change, change. So our signs are opposite, so we subtract the two numbers. 8 from 2, or 2 from 8 is 6. 8 is the larger, its sign is positive, so is my answer. Now, the biggest mistake that a lot of people make, and I'm going to show this to you so that you don't do this, okay, is a lot of people, when they have something like this, here's what they do. They say negative 8 minus 2. And I said, well, what did you do? And they said, well, I did leave, change, change. And I said, well, why? And they said, well, because you got to leave, change, change. And I said, well, but this is adding. Always look at your sign first. This is incorrect. Okay. Look at your operation. This is a subtraction sign. That's the only time you do leave, change, change. And you leave that first number. You change your subtraction to addition. You change the last number to its opposite, which is negative 9. If you don't have those 3 arrows, then you didn't do it right. Okay? So now I have 4 plus negative 9. Well, if I take the difference between 9 and 4, well, that difference is 5. 9 is my greater number. Its sign is negative. So is my answer. What I mean by the 3 arrows is leave my first number, which is negative 3. Change that subtraction sign to the positive. Change that last number, 7, to its opposite, which in this case is negative 7. So here my answer, 3, my signs are the same. So I'm going to add my numbers. 7 plus 3 is 10. Take the sign of the larger. So my answer is negative 10. My next answer, or my next question is negative 9 plus 2. My signs are opposite, so the difference between 9 and 2 is 7. My larger number is 9. Its sign is negative, so is my answer. To find the differences for the last 3, I have negative 2. Change the subtraction to addition. Change negative 5 to its opposite, which is 5. My signs are opposite, so take the difference is 3. 5 is larger, its sign's positive, so is my answer. Leave, change, change. My signs are the same, add my numbers. Take the sign of the larger. Leave, change, change. My signs are opposite. The difference between the two is 6. Take the sign of the larger. So my answer is negative 6. My last question. Write 2 equivalent expressions that represent the situation. What is the difference in their elevations? So difference means to subtract. An airplane flies at an altitude of 25,000 feet. A submarine dives to a depth of 600 feet below sea level. Well, to write that, one way would be 25,000 minus negative 600, because we go below sea level. The other way to write this, we would have 25,000, leave, change, change. And that would be the 2 ways to write it. This ends our lesson.